So the case we're going to get into today is about a 38-year-old woman named Nancy Jane Daughtery. Nancy Jane Daughtery was born May 24th, 1948. And in 1986, she was a mother of two living in Cheslin, Minnesota, and worked at a local nursing home as an aide. She also volunteered as an emergency medical tech for the Cheslin Ambulance Services. On July 16th, 1986, her boyfriend dropped her off at home just after midnight. She had plans to move to the Twin Cities the next day to attend school to become a paramedic. When her boyfriend could not get in touch with her, he called law enforcement and asked to do a welfare check at her home. Law enforcement did go do the welfare check on her at her home, and that's when they found her deceased inside her home. Nancy had been beaten, SA, and strangled. Evidence has indicated that a struggle had taken place inside and outside the home. The police found male DNA from bodily fluids and under her fingernails. There were witnesses that said they heard a woman screaming in the early morning hours but didn't report it. DNA was recovered from the scene but did not match anyone in the criminal DNA database. Over the years, authorities compared over 100 DNA samples from potential suspects, but none wasn't a match. It was also being said that the case was complicated because Nancy had hosted a party to celebrate her daughter's graduation shortly before her death. So there were lots of extra fingerprints and DNA around the house. In 2020, the Cheslin police contracted with Parabon Nanolabs and had hopes of developing new leads using public genealogy databases. So the public genealogy database led investigators to Michael Carbo Jr. He was 18 at the time of the murder and had lived within a mile of Nancy and even went to school with her children. Investigators started surveilling Carbo and retrieved trash bags he had thrown into the dumpster outside of his Lincoln Square apartment where he lived alone at the time. Taking swabs of paper towels, facial tissues, Q-tips, beer can, and a Slim Fast bottle, analysts were able to develop a DNA profile that was consistent with that of the suspect from the 1986 murder of Nancy Daughtery. Investigators then obtained a DNA sample directly from Carbo with his consent, which again confirmed the match. 52-year-old Carbo was then taken into custody and booked into the St. Louis County Jail in Virginia on probable cause of second-degree murder with $1 million bail. Police say Carbo was never on the radar and hadn't committed any high-level crimes that warranted his DNA being put in the state database. He has lived in Cheslin ever since the murder happened. He has two daughters who live in the region and has maintained steady employment for nearly 3 decades. Most recently worked full-time as a care provider at Cheslin facility for people who suffer from mental illness and brain injuries. He was convicted of burglary charges in 1988 and 1990, in addition to being charged in 2002 and 2007 for careless driving and not having insurance. He allegedly abused drugs and alcohol when he was younger, but had not had any problems with substance abuse in nearly 20 years. Carbo's supervisor at work described him as reliable, friendly, and outgoing person. His former property manager called him polite, respectful, and fun. Longtime family friends said they never seen him angry or violent, even when he was drinking or upset. One of his daughters even stated that he was the best father a girl could ask for. His friend said that he would help anyone in need, even if he didn't know them. This is the first Minnesota cold case solved through the use of genealogy databases, and Carbo is trying to fight it along with the removal of his garbage by detectives as of being a violation of his constitutional rights, as he says. And as of today, he remains in jail awaiting trial. And that is the end of today's case. And I want to thank you all for watching and supporting my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss an update.